There is an ongoing debate in social media about haircuts and size and length of hair in secondary schools. We will not tolerate it today, we will not tolerate it tomorrow, and so long as we are molding character. If we give in to hair today, tomorrow it will be shoes, and the next day it will be the way they dress. Therefore, as part of our disciplinary measures, headmasters and GES, you are accordingly empowered to take full control of how students behave on your campuses.
That is why we foolishly cut the hair of young girls when they go to SS. I will say that because there's no sense in it. It's a primitive mind. Even though they think they have gone to school, they still have the mindset of Kwame Nkrumah. When the white people came and established the missionary school, they were cutting the ladies' hair because it was full of lies. At that time, they didn't have. Do you understand? So, in order to have the slave mentality, you have to cut it.
It all started with a viral video of a young girl cutting her hair short with tears in her eyes just so she can go to school. Well, in Ghana, there has been a long-standing tradition where young girls have to cut their hair short just so they can gain admission into certain preferred senior high schools. Now, the question that is sparking outrage online is this really necessary in today's Ghana?
Yeah!
There is always a boiling point for something. There is always a point in time where a red line will be crossed. I mean, there has been a debate on social media in Ghana about whether it is necessary for young SHS girls to cut their hair or trim their hair or like get their hair barbed, as you may put it. And there has been debate about it, and the Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Iddrisu, has also come to say that the GES is not going to change their laws and their policies. What has been done should continue to be done, and that young women who are going to senior high school must continue to cut their hair. You see, anybody who has attended SHS in Ghana, I am a Ghanaian, I live in Canada, but I attended SHS when I was in Ghana. At that time, it wasn't SHS, it was SSS. And even in our time, the women still barbed their hair. You know, they trimmed their hair. So, if this is a tradition and it has been going on for decades, changing it is very hard. But like I said, there's a boiling point for anything. There is a time that something that has been practiced for a very long time must give way, like the old must give way for something that is new. So there was a video that was going viral of a young lady who was about to start SHS, and she had to get all her hair trimmed. So that video went viral and people were talking about it, that can there be a change? We live in 21st century. Can there be a change that young women who want to go to school can still go to school with their hair intact? Could there be a different policy, like instead of them maybe styling their hair, can't we have something like cornrow or something like dreadlocks or something like that, so that the women can continue to have their hair? But just as we all know, changing tradition is very, very difficult. First, I would like us to go and listen to what Honorable Haruna Iddrisu said. I think he had a meeting in one of the secondary schools in Ghana, and then he reiterated the fact that there is not going to be any change. Like, the ladies should continue to trim their hair. That is what is going to happen in our SHS institutions, and nothing should change. So let us go and listen to him, and then I will comment after that. And I will plead with you, if today is your first time visiting my channel, kindly subscribe to my channel, like my video, drop your comment, and let me learn something from you. I know you will do it, so I want to thank you in advance. Thank you very much.
There is an ongoing debate in social media about haircuts and size and length of hair in secondary schools. We will not tolerate it today, we will not tolerate it tomorrow, and so long as we are molding character. If we give in to her today, tomorrow it will be shoes, and the next day it will be the way they dress. Therefore, as part of our disciplinary measures, headmasters and GS, you are accordingly empowered to take full control of how students behave on your campuses. So anybody who thinks that your child will walk into any institution of learning as if that child, forgive my words, was to attend a beauty contest, the school environment is not for that purpose and not cut for that purpose, and would not tolerate that as an institution.
So this is what the Honorable Minister said, that trimming the hair of ladies is important in molding character. What has hair length got to do with character? Does that mean that bald-headed people have good character or something? It just doesn't fit. So many people on Twitter tweeted, and I think one of the people that tweeted that I liked what he said was Sadiq Adams. This is what Sadiq Adams said: "What is Ghana's national hair values? That Sakura men are morally ethical and honest than Rasta men, or that ladies with short hair have virtue than those with long hair?" Yeah, so it just doesn't make sense that you are molding character because of hair. What has hair got to do with character? So many people said a lot of things about what the Honorable Minister said, and I think I agree with them. There was also another man of God, and he gave a historical perspective to why we used to cut our hair. According to the man of God, in the colonial days when the missionaries started schools in Ghana, most of the women, their hair were bushy as well as the men, so they had to cut their hair, and it was because of lice. There were a lot of lice in the hair of the women, so they needed to cut them. That was why they were cutting the hair, and we have outgrown that. We have gained our independence. We are over 60 years old as a nation, and we are still going back to practice what our ancestors did, even though they did it for a reason, and now we don't do it for any other reason.
We like it or not, our minds are still found outside the book, which is the Bible. That is why we foolishly cut the hair of young girls when they go to SS. I will say that because there's no sense in it. The Bible in actual fact has said that the hair of a woman has been given to her for covering. Why do we cut it off? Is it not in the Bible? Or you don't know? Who is a secondary school teacher here or a secondary school master here? It's a primitive mind. Even though they think they have gone to school, they still have the mindset of Kwame Nkrumah. It was in the Kwame Nkrumah era that because when the white people came and established the missionary school, they were cutting the ladies' hair because it was full of lice. At that time, they didn't have. Do you understand? So, in order to have the slave mentality, you have to cut it. So it was a mindset, and that mindset has been left. If you want to fight, that is what you fight. Now you don't have anybody who is a slave master, but you are still enslaving yourselves. So by the time the young girl grows up, he doesn't have any kinky hair anymore. So she wants another person's hair to cover her own. So hair business has become a great deal because they know that Africans will forever be fools. This is not church doctrine. This is your tradition. So I'm not preaching it. I'm just telling you. I've not become a preacher of your tradition. I'm just telling you. So unless you finish secondary school, then you begin to leave your hair. So imagine if you're a child and you never cut your hair from childhood up to the age of 14, 15, you go to SS and the teachers have joy when they start to cut it. Hey, Jimmy, it's foolishness. They have not learned. They don't know what they are doing. And when you tell them the truth, they say you are not a good person. But what they are doing is barbaric.
I really like the historical dimension the man of God brought. I think his name is Prophet Anochi or something. I don't fully know his name. So if this is what our ancestors used to do because of lies, they used to cut their hair. Why don't we outgrow it? We live in 21st century. Okay, why don't we outgrow it? Why don't we just allow the young girls to have, say, afro, or maybe cornrow, or maybe dreadlocks, or something? Why do we have to cut the hair? It just doesn't make sense. Many other people have given their opinion. Some statesmen and stateswomen have also given their opinion. I want us to go and listen to what some of them have said, and then I will wrap up at the end of the day.
Even if we were to entertain the argument that strict appearance builds discipline, the question remains, discipline for what? If shaving one's head or keeping one's short hair builds discipline, this country will be the most disciplined nation on earth. You go to parliament, so many Sakura, but what do we see? We have so many shaved and polished people in appearance who steal with impunity. They lie without shame, and they destroy the very institutions they've sworn to protect. We have ministers and public officials who attend church and mosque so regularly, yet they misuse public funds, they break the procurement laws, and they betray public trust. How does hair fit into the moral equation? So when I see headlines like the one the education minister made over the weekend, talking about how, quote, we will not tolerate long hair at SHS, I cannot help but think of our misplaced priorities. In 2021, two brilliant Rastafarian boys, Tyrone Magai and Oheniba Nkrabia, were denied admission into a Chimota school because they wear dreadlocks, which was an expression of their faith. The school insisted on shaving their hair as a condition for the admission. Their parents refused, and the matter went to court. For months, the entire country debated what should have been a simple question. Should children be denied education because of how they wear their hair? The answer, of course, came from the courts. The respected Justice Gifty Ejiado, whose courageous judgment ordered Achimota to admit the students. She reminded us that the Constitution guarantees freedom of religion and that no child should be denied education for expressing their faith. It was a landmark decision, and it was a triumph for tolerance and a statement that education must liberate, actually, and not subjugate. And may history be kind to that judge. But we seem not to have learned anything. Today, one of those boys, Tyrone Magai, is on a full scholarship in the United States studying computer engineering. He received offers from several universities abroad, and it's proof, if ever we needed one, that hair does not define intellect. Despite fighting him every step of the way, the Achimota school currently celebrates him and seeks to associate with his success.
It all started with a viral video of a young girl cutting her hair short with tears in her eyes just so she can go to school. Well, in Ghana, there has been a long-standing tradition where young girls have to cut their hair short just so they can gain admission into certain preferred senior high schools. Now, the question that is sparking outrage online is this really necessary in today's Ghana?
Well, most people say if they trim their hair, it makes them, prompt and more prim for school. But I really think it's not necessary, because if they are keeping a uniform hairstyle, it's more better than to force them all to trim their hairs.
I think that's the rules of the game. We are all made to play the same game. So I don't think it was a bad idea, but there should be some consideration for some people, because I don't see this girl trimming her hair like from infancy. So I think there should be some caveats for students who are also have medical issues.
And the teacher for no maba no ho oko bo wuti ohun ye fika krebi ono banyim obese we life sisia nti mamu de ti bo na de omu yi eti a mepe mani je ho pa se ombe yi wo mu tiri no.
It could be just a cornrow with no extension, and then they are good to go. To me, I don't encourage them shaving their hair. I think they should let them be free. Like, the most important thing is about they learning and then passing.
It's a parent no person who and you different. But me must say me more money or muti. Because I could be how doing it. The problem be man.
We would see and if you say a year, say on a bow and better 1 year. Into one way you need to say. Usu ko you to say, uko you to say, as on any yape. No so ya kola. No a brown once and watch our dear kama.
The girls, when they keep their hair, they try to style it when they are in school. So that will make their attention be divided when maybe learning, or like even some of their colleagues, the boys' attention to be divided in the classroom.
Our teachers, they will be like, oh, if they trim the hair, if they braid their hair, they might not focus solely on their studies. But I think it should be up for debate. It should be up for debate whether they should choose. They should have the choice to choose whether they should trim their hair or they should be.
Whether this movement leads to a change or not, it is clear that Ghana's next generation wants their identity to be part of the lessons taught in school.
You don't love who you are, and you can only look pretty with buying like Brazilian hair, Indian hair, or something before you can be acceptable in society. We have a problem. You see these girls that are dancing. The moment, the very hour they leave SS, they go buy Brazilian hair. If you meet 10 people today, 9 have some kind of hair on. That is the sad part for me as a mother and as a woman, and for me as a leader of a nation. When I was back in the US, I'd see the Chinese people, their hair, doesn't matter how their hair look, their face, they are still confident as people. When are we going to have that confidence as Africans? When are we going to realize that our hair, the braiding of her hair in school is part of life? That the girl, when she comes home and goes to work, would have to worry about her hair and how she goes to work with her hair. So learning how to maintain your hair in school and being part of going to school and learning and being able to braid your hair before classes, they are all parts of life. That the people who write the book that we study in school, they don't have to go through this. Why won't we come to the understanding that we have failed?
It's a primitive mind, even though they think they have gone to school. When the white people came and established the missionary school, they were cutting the ladies' hair because it was full of lies.
This is what you call a disgrace to society. This is a fucking disgrace to society.